So we have 2 kids, and my son moved out in March, and then my daughter went to college at C of O, and so she moved out in May, and we just had, that senior year with your baby. It's just boom, things are just going all the time, and we were just one thing after another. So when FCA came, we were just like, oh yeah, that's great, But when she actually moved down to her college, it was a few weeks later, and then we have this empty house, and we're just like, oh, okay. So we see this notice that the boys needed a home, and I didn't think anything about it, but I was just like, okay, Lord, if you want to have us do this, then I guess talk to Mike.
FCA had come to our church and spoke with the boys that were currently playing, and had no intentions of hosting a home or having the boys stay. Just, it was interesting to see FCA step out and have a whole team play like this. And when they were done introducing the guys and coaches and stuff, they asked some guys to come up and pray with them, and I went up and actually prayed with 2 guys on the team, current players. Didn't think anything of it, thought I'll pray with a couple guys, and it's cool, they're going to be staying here and playing. Lo and behold, 3 weeks later, I see in the bulletin that they're still looking for a couple host homes for the guys to stay with. And thought back in my head, well, that's kind of weird. I don't know what Kilina would think of it, or what it would be. We got in the car and I was like, hey, did you see the bulletin? And both of us were like, no way. So from there we were just like, okay, obviously God's in this and wants us to host a family. And I reached out to Cody, and it was just absolutely wild how God orchestrated this whole thing. And come to find out through talking with Cody about 2 of the boys that they were looking to host that would be with us. One of the boys turns out to be the boy I prayed with 3 weeks prior, having no knowledge of or interest at that time of even hosting. And lo and behold, that was one of the ones I was praying with at that service.
When he started talking about hosting, I was kind of like, oh, okay, yeah, I can do this. But for some reason, a fear for me was having people in my home. I like to go do things, and I'll do anything for people, or I'll serve, or I'll do things, but really just having the people come, and the idea of someone staying in my home for a few months, that just really intimidated me. So I was kind of like, okay, it was, I don't know why, it was scary, but then when we went ahead and went forward, it was just turned out to be such a cool thing. I think it wasn't so much about the place and what we had for them, but it was a and I think they appreciated the relationships and just the time. They didn't even mind 2 old people hanging out with them at the parks, at the ballpark. So yeah, I would say it's not really important about the space and what you have, but it's more about the time that you have to share with them.
I didn't know what to expect going in, a week into it. I thought, okay, cool, we'll go watch them practice, we'll go watch some games, hang out, we'll eat dinners. I had no idea what God would do through this hosting of the boys. And like my wife said, the relationships that we built with not just the boys, but several of the boys on the team and the coaches and Cody and Nikki, it's just been a wow experience to what I was expecting. I got saved when I was 27 years old, and I haven't shared my testimony a lot at all. And I was sharing one day with Cody, and he kind of pressured me, and I needed to share it with the boys just because of my sporting background at the time when I shared with them. And I'm like, man, I can't do that. Well, one night before the game in the locker room, I shared my testimony with the guys, and it was an awesome experience. And it's absolutely pushed me and opened me to do it more and be more open about it, which is a huge thing for me that I think God taught me through that is we are, to share our stories. We each have one. They're all different. And but that was a big learning thing for me through last summer. And just the relationships that we built are just huge. Those boys became my boys on the field. I mean, it was awesome. And part of what God's taught me is I don't like to travel. And I was pushed out of my comfort zone. Ross was playing at Iowa, and we went up there in October. He was playing in a fall tournament, and we traveled to Iowa to go watch him, and his parents came down from Minnesota, so we met up, and we all, hung out, and we surprised Ross. It was kind of funny. We set it up to where he thought he was meeting his parents, and we actually were there, not his mom and dad. Hey, you like eating here too, huh?
What?
And he was very, very excited, and it was a cool experience. And like I said, we've grown more than just hey, thanks for staying the summer with us. We actually have some bonded relationships with them. I would say if you're questioning to do it, if there's any doubt in your mind, honestly, seek God in prayer, talk to your spouse about it. But it is an awesome opportunity for men, young men, and you as a host home to build relationships with them. And like I said, you'll be out there at the field cheering on your boys. I mean, it just happens. So, I mean, even the boys that didn't host with us, they saw us at the thing. We went to dinners with them. We just did events with them or whatever. And just, going to Andy's. Love the Andy's. I think I made a couple of Andy addicts out there. But the relationships that we built are just, it's cool. I still talk to my boys. And, even some of the boys that didn't host with us that we end up becoming close with, we still talk to and, stay in touch with them. It flew by. Literally, we turned around and we were crying in our driveways. These men leave. I mean, it was just, it ended too quick. So immediately, when I talked to Cody, is there a team next year? Do you need host homes? I mean, the season just ended, and we were already transitioned, and both were like, yes, this is a definite yes again. The blessings that we got out of it and the relationships that we built out of it, I can't imagine not doing it again. Right? I mean, it was tough. I mean, literally, the guys made fun of me because I told them, I said, I'm going to cry. And they'd only been there, like a week or two. And I said, I'm going to cry when you guys leave. And they're like, yeah, right. They learned to know me. I'm an emotional guy, and I was a wreck when they left. But it wasn't a bye forever. Like I said, we traveled and saw Ross. I'm sure we'll see Brian. It just, you get connected and you really grow to know these guys. And I can't imagine not doing it.